morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guess. I, as always, am your host, Alpha Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, Karmelo Anthony. I don't know why I keep saying Caramello. Karmelo Anthony's back in the news. ShoeOnHead is apparently in a situation. Those are always entertaining. UK begs Muslims not to follow the Prophet in one way or another. And then we'll see if we can get to any other stories today. There's a couple other things it'd be nice to be able to get to, but we'll see. Without further ado, let's get into it.
To do here is mock the insanity. It really does need to be roundly mocked. But then when you think about not just the El Sayeds, but the white liberals running interference for these people in the UK, and same thing here in the United States, you know, across the board, like Karmelo Anthony. That brings us to Tallarico here. Karmelo Anthony, pretty cut and dry, right? 35 years as a sentence, murder. For those of you who've forgotten, Karmelo Anthony obviously killed Austin Metcalf. And stabbed him. Didn't take long. Guilty. Murder. Well, now Karmelo's team just kind of had a win when the trial judge had to be recused from further proceedings in this whole appeal process. And then that'll bring us to Tallarico.
The judge...
Which is kind of silly that this happened. The judge should have known better. But you'll see in a second.
Who presided over the murder trial has been removed from the case.
This was far from a typical murder trial. The hearing lasted only an hour. The only evidence presented was 18 minutes of a raw interview that Judge John Roach did with a media outlet 2 days after the verdict in June. The defense tried to use that interview to show that the judge was biased by saying he agreed with the jury and other things, and in the end, the visiting judge agreed and granted the recusal.
I mean, it seems kind of weird that we recused the judge for judging. I know it's a jury trial, but still, I mean, it's in the name. It doesn't make any sense. That's the dude.
There's that organization.
Now,
what you should want is real hair. Not one strand of real hair in that whole crowd between eyelashes and wigs.
remember all the people outside of the courthouse saying that white people deserve it. They side with the black person no matter what. We need justice reform. What that means is that black people who commit violent crimes should be allowed to go free. Right? It's a very hateful ideology. You know that. Yeah. Now I want you to remember that when you say there's no difference. They want to keep us divided. Like, they want to keep us divided racially, or they want to keep us divided politically to not focus on the elites. Those people are saying they want murderers to go free because white. So believe them when they tell you that, and keep that in your mind when you see this old clip, and it is 2 weeks old, Tallarico specifically pandering regarding Karmelo Anthony.
We see what happened with Karmelo Anthony, and you said it was a tragedy.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I've done a lot of work in the State House on justice reform, and right now we've got a system that doesn't serve all Americans equally, and we know that
he murdered somebody. I don't know why people are pandering to this level. It's absolutely insane, especially given what I heard yesterday. I don't know if he's going to mention that in this today. I don't know if this is just about something else, but we'll get to that as well.
black Texans have been have not gotten the justice they deserve.
He got the justice he deserved. The fact that some black Texans have not got the justice that they deserve is irrelevant in the Karmelo Anthony case, because he stabbed someone in the chest for asking him to leave their school's tent. He did not go to this school. And again, we'll hear in a little bit that he was out to kill somebody, at least according to his ex-girlfriend.
Cases, and you know, I'm not an expert on this particular case, but I know that there were no black members of the jury, and to me, that's the only evidence you need to really prove that this system is not working for black Texans.
There's a reason for that.
You need. Let me just give you some key facts here. Rattle them off there. One, case is pretty simple. Black kid got mad, stabbed a white kid to death in a place he shouldn't have been with a weapon he wasn't supposed to have.
Yes.
The jury, by the way, fact two, was not all white. Had Asian women, Middle Eastern women, Afro-Latino or a Middle Eastern man. We don't know because we're going by the name. So what they mean is there weren't black people, but that's because the black people who sat down for the jury said, yeah, I wouldn't be able to convict a black person. Just to be clear, that's not the only.
And that's the whole reason. There were also no teachers present for the very same reason. They said that the teacher said that they couldn't convict a kid of murder, which is stupid. And then there was a few black people who were, I don't know if recused is the right word, but we'll just use it anyway. Hey, good morning. Yeah, I didn't get on last night. Like I said, it was complete honesty. I'm watching One Piece, and there was just like 4 or 5 episodes in a row, just some of the saddest shit I've ever seen in fiction. At least as far as anything animated goes. It hit me like Littlefoot's mother getting killed first time. It's like that long neck bitch got killed again. But no, the whole thing is, look, there were black people interviewed to be on Karmelo Anthony's jury. They said that they could not convict a black kid of murder and send him away for however long it would end up being. So naturally, they didn't put them on the jury for showing their bias in their interview. That's it. That's the whole reason there were no black people in the jury. That being said, it was not an all-white jury. Like he said, there was plenty of Hispanic people, Middle Eastern people, I think Asian people, and I think a Hispanic dude.
Evidence you need. Also, when he says, hey, we have a justice system that only works for some of America.
And again, he said he said, I'm not an expert, but I did hear that there were no black people on the jury, so that's enough for me. Guys, stop giving opinions, especially if you're running for Congress, the Senate, governorship, or anything having to do with any kind of political leaning. Stop giving your take on shit if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's bad enough that we have very affluent podcasters doing the very same thing. But when I talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, Karmelo Anthony, and a lot of these other situations, I've done my due diligence. And no, I'm not just talking about watching the very shows that I go through on here with y'all. I'm talking about I actually watched all of the Kyle Rittenhouse video from that night. I was pretty much paying attention to the entirety of the Karmelo Anthony case from the very beginning. The only thing that I didn't do was go down to where they were keeping the video and watching the video my damn self before the court case. I saw it as it was coming out, and it's very important to realize the difference between real footage and things that are AI generated. Candace Owens. Same thing with the Charlie Kirk situation. I'm very much aware of the difference between the bullshit AI generated images and quote unquote frozen images that are put out by people like Candace Owens, as opposed to the real thing. Just like what's that? Lindsay something or other, the lady that just strangled her 3 babies 3 years ago. People are saying, hey, give me an AI generated still of this video instead of just pausing the damn video and taking a screenshot. And in doing so, they are comparing someone who is similar but not exactly what the husband looks like. And they're like, oh my God, the best friend. It was the best friend who went to CV's or whatever grocery store he went to. It was him. I knew it, and I based that on TikTok lore and an AI-generated video still.
Well, I agree. It's not fair to black people. That's where
Sorry,
you're
rant
wrong.
over.
Key fact 3. You look at Texas, black Americans make up 12% of Texans, but 29% of kidnapping, 35% of shoplifting, 35% of aggravated assault, 41% of murder or manslaughter, and 50% of robberies. The silver lining is they're better behaved than the Wisconsin blacks.
It's true.
6% and
75%,
I believe, of the
phrased it like
robberies.
that.
Yeah, there.
Quite,
But hold on a second. So how are they not being served fairly? What do you mean? if you are much more likely to be
because it sounds good if I say that on the Breakfast Club podcast.
caught and released or no cash bail in leftist states if you're black, period. This idea, too, they go, well, really, all the people committing the crimes, the white-collar crimes, those people should be behind bars, and it's just some kid who, it's actually the opposite. People get prosecuted far more often for white-collar crimes. They're not violence against fellow man. To act as though you don't understand the difference, sure, they're both immoral, and we have laws for both. But you can't let violent offenders off the hook. The left wants to. Why? Because black. You on the hook for any misdeeds. Why? Because white.
Yeah.
Blacks off the hook for an overwhelming percentage of violent actions. Why? Because black.
In this particular case, what would that change? His comment about here are the people. I know there wasn't a black juror on there. Okay, let's just say, like, for example, there was. What would that change about the facts of the case?
Right.
This isn't like, this guy grew up on the mean streets here and he had been bullied for a very long time. If you're not black, you can't understand. I'm like, do you understand that there are poor white people in Texas? I was one of them. Poor Hispanic people in Texas.
Right.
Poor black people, all living together, doing very, very well together, doing totally fine. Not
That's kind of an overstatement. I will say, like, there are a lot that aren't doing fine, obviously. But again, that's just Gerald being Gerald.
stabbing each other at events like this. What would it change? You basically just said everybody else on that jury, they're racist and can't be trusted. And by the way, I do agree with one thing he said. Black people, Karmelo Anthony, he's not getting the justice he deserves in Texas. He deserves to die.
Yep, absolutely.
And he's not. He's sentenced to 35 years right now. I hope in this retrial, hey, new trial? Yeah, absolutely 100%. Death penalty's back on the table, though. You sure you want to go with this?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Can they do that? I don't know if they can do that.
I don't think they can. I don't even know if this qualified for the death penalty, but when I see something like that, I'm like, send a message to people. This is not okay.
It did not actually qualify for the death penalty because he was too young at the time.
Yeah.
No, he was an adult at the time.
It's everything they say.
He was 17 at the time of the incident, 18 at the time of the court case, I believe. Hold on. Was Karmelo Anthony 17 or 18 at the time of the incident with Austin Metcalf? Yeah. Yeah, no, he turned 18 just a few weeks after. So he can be tried as an adult, of course, because it's a capital offense. But
I've talked about it being Marxism. A big part of Marxism is simply subverting institutions and expectations.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's what they do here. And it's all about, like I've said, they want to turn you, the law-abiding American, into a criminal, right? For your speech, online hate speech, for misinformation, for owning a gun, all of this. They want to turn you into a criminal, and they want to turn criminals into a voter base, whether it's illegal aliens, whether it's serial violent felons. These people should be allowed to vote.
If we have time, we'll get into a similar case involving Seattle recently, since their recently elected mayor has been fucking up.
That's what they believe. And just look at what they say. You have Lindsay Clancy right now.
That's what her name is.
Off for life. Everything that they say is the...
I will say, while I like the premise of the wheelchair that plays the X-Men theme song, I don't very much like the rest of anything to do with those advertisements. But sure, do your thing, whatever.
Opposite of reality. Blacks are not getting a fair shake. That wasn't murder. It's racism, Karmelo Anthony. Lindsay, it's not evil. She was underserved. Really, she's the victim here. Hey, Muslims are actually most progressive. They're most similar to Christians.
And that's always fun for me, saying that they're the most progressive. Quite the opposite, actually. They're actually the most conservative. What are we talking about?
This is what they tell you. It is all a lie. Lindsay Clancy, this is another one that you see. It's about removing accountability. Why? Because it's easier.
They're literally everything that most liberals hate about conservatives. They are what they fear the others might be.
Someone who refuses compulsively to face accountability, you know what the easiest sell to them is? It's not even free healthcare. It's not even free, whatever, EBT. It's the excuse. People who hate accountability, the easiest sell to them is, it's actually not your fault. You walked out on your family? It's actually not your fault. You had unprotected sex for a long, that's actually not your fault. Get an abortion. You stabbed that kid for no reason? It's actually not your fault. It's the system. You came here illegally, knowing the laws, and didn't pay it's actually not your fault. It's someone else's fault. You murdered.
I keep getting Robbie Williams pictured in my head. It's not your fault.
Your 3 children? Well, hold on a second. Did they acknowledge your mental health? This woman was a nurse, and I believe was on 13 prescriptions, or at least had cycled through them. Let me ask you this. Do you believe for a second that if it was 14, it would have made a difference? Hey, you know who the real victim is in that one?
The kids?
Just with the information, the father who's being villainized. Considering that she had committed all these misdeeds before and was planning this out, and you have people out there, I can't believe that the husband called from the drugstore to ask which of the 104 prescriptions. What a deadbeat loser. That guy's working. That guy's having to deal with her stuff. That guy probably thought it was a concern for the children to be alone with the mom. Can't do anything about it because the court system won't take kids away from their mom unless you have hard proof of physical violence. That guy had to deal with it the entire way. Do you think she just all of a sudden killed 3 people, or do you think she was a nightmare? Making, you know who I guarantee you would probably not have sympathy for Lindsay Clancy? The half a dozen to a dozen therapists, psychiatrists who said, there's no helping this woman. She's pill shopping. And once she has to face accountability, she moves on to the next one. She had access to health care. She had access to medication.
Yeah.
She had a husband who was helping her. And she killed 3 kids. And if anyone here believes for a second that in our society today, it's like, well, really, actually, the problem is we're not allowed to talk about postpartum. What? It's a get-out-of-jail-free card all the time. And you know what? Maybe some people don't get the kind of care that they want or need. This one did. I don't care because the conversation shouldn't shift from anything other than 3 children were murdered. Were murdered. What, over $1 million in a GoFundMe?
Yeah.
Show me the man who murdered 3 children and got $1 million in a GoFundMe.
How much?
Show me that. Or people say, actually, it's not his fault. Here's the other thing, too. It's a very common myth. Not all the time, but most of the stories that you hear where someone just snapped, that's actually not what happened. It's not what happened. There's a long pattern,
almost
a history of behavior, misdeeds, displacing blame, where everyone else has to live in misery until you finally commit the ultimate evil. It's also the same thing very often with dogs. You'll see this. I'm not wading into the pit bull debate here, but any dog. So I don't know what happened. This dog just all of a sudden lunch. No, when you look at it, not all the time, very often you go, oh wait, the dog was sleeping, and the kid woke it up, dog was having a nightmare. That's a huge portion of dog attacks that you read as just snapped. Oh, wait a second, the dog was coming home, was on medication because a dog had just had surgery. The dog was brand new, had just been taken in from a rescue, had only been at the house for 2 weeks. And you see, dog snaps. No way to see it coming.
Yeah. It should read, stupid parent let their kid do whatever they wanted to their dog. Generally. Now, sometimes, yes, animals do snap. But a lot of the time it's brought on by people just allowing their very small babies to go around dogs because they want to capture a fun little video moment. And then next thing you know, it's got the kid by the head just swinging that thing around. Could this have been avoided?
It's far worse with people.
But even in that situation, dog snaps, no one saw it coming. What happens to the dog?
Right. Dog gets put down. Dog gets put down. With a human, do you really think that it was good mom, good wife, good mom, good wife, good mom, good wife, good mom, good wife, 3 murders? Or do you think everyone around her, even though you want to believe she's the perpetual victim, they were waking up every day going, what's she going to put us through today? Try and understand that. Right, pop psychologists.
We have someone at work. We do the same thing. Just take your whole vacation.
on social media when you talk about every man being a narcissist for wearing a wristwatch. Apply it there. A lot of medication, a lot of costs for medication, a lot of chaos being sown. Hey, that seems like a lot of self-focus. It wasn't perfect, or even decent, triple murder.
Sorry, retarded.
My sympathy, you only have so much sympathy in you, goes to the actual victims, namely, of course, the children, and I would say in this case, the father. The father who has to let people go, it must be so hard for her to live with what she did. You know who I think it's harder to live with? Probably the dad probably has a harder time living with someone else murdering his children. That's probably harder for him than her. Could we agree on that?
Can you imagine coming home to that whole situation? Coming home and then realizing everything's gone. And
Where's
not
the
from theft.
conversation on the father and husband other than he's a piece of shit because he didn't know where to go at the drugstore?
No, it's because he's a Gemini, Stephen.
It must be so hard to be Karmelo Anthony, and he was scared. You know what's probably harder on? The family of the kid who was killed.
Yeah.
It must be so hard for these migrants, and they want to. You know what's probably harder on? The child who was raped. The hundreds of thousands of them in mass numbers. That's who it's harder on. It must be so hard. We have to catch and really. You know who it's harder on? The person who was subjected to the knockout game from said repeat offender.
Yeah.
And the next person who gets assaulted or gets killed because they don't get taught a lesson. That's who it's harder on. So when people say we need to, as a society, protect the most vulnerable among us, how about the people who are targeted by these predators and made victims? How about that? This idea, there's plenty of sympathy to go around. No, there's not. There is not. I do not have any sympathy for Lindsay Clancy, and I do not have any sympathy for Karmelo Anthony.
No.
Sure, pray for them. Got it. That's between them and God. My sympathy is to the actual victims, not those who use it as a get-out-of-jail-free card or some kind of social currency. Oh,
And speaking of Karmelo Anthony, Karmelo Anthony's girlfriend told school officials the morning of Austin Metcalf's murder about Karmelo Anthony stalking her while he sent text fantasizing about her murder. About murder in general. 35 years is not enough. There is a text message where he fantasizes about stabbing someone and licking the blood off the blade. The prosecutor revealed. I'm low-key on the verge, Anthony said an hour before the stabbing of Metcalf. I mean, that's pretty damning in itself, isn't it? Despite the fact that the original judge also thought he was guilty. Imagine a judge judging something. The prosecutor just revealed this info in court as Karmelo Anthony team pushes to get a retrial. A gentleman's agreement was in place to keep this out of the original trial. Why? Why? The fact that the guy was on the prowl and he had a knife and he was fantasizing about stabbing people, and there was a bit of a gentleman's agreement about keeping that out of the trial, I think that's fairly relevant. I don't care what the context is. And honestly, the context makes it worse. That's why I took a mind for the track meet. 404 motion. Oh, just someone else reporting the same thing. All right. Anyway, moving on to Mrs. ShoeOnHead.
Hey, what's up, guys? Up here. So I'll be honest with you guys. This is one of those videos where the subject matter featured in it is going to be a very grim one. Every time you think you've been completely black-pilled by social media users and their insane behavior, trust me, it's going to get only worse. Now, why is ShoeOnHead featured here? Well, she's been very vocal about this situation, and she's been taking the brunt of the crazies on social media and also being accused of concocting this entire situation and the insane response on social media. Now, what is this situation? Well, right now, there is a very high-profile case going on involving...
Sorry, not a fan of zodiac signs, but later react to Luigi's Ballad. It's funnier than... Okay.
An individual named Lindsay Clancy. Now, she is accused of offing her 3 children, strangulating them, 5 minutes apiece. Now, her defense is that she was not legally culpable for her actions because she was in a state of psychosis given her postpartum depression. Now, postpartum depression is a very real thing, and it makes sense, right? When a woman gives birth, their hormones are completely out of whack, and it might have a very serious impact on their mental health. But what happened here is truly evil. And what's also evil is the reaction on social media, including from thousands of mothers who are empathizing with the rage she expressed towards her children.
A lot of them while holding their kids at said protest or demonstration, rather.
In fact, right now, there is a trend on TikTok, #SameLindsay, where people, including mothers, are holding their own newborns, expressing support for what she did. In fact, at the trial...
And this is absolutely insane. The fact that people are saying, I feel the same way as Lindsay did while holding their kids in little videos on TikTok. And they still have access to their kids. It's kind of crazy.
Thousands of women are showing up and showing their support and love for Lindsay. In fact, today, there is a planned Stand in Peace protest against what's happening here. And it gets even worse. There's a GoFundMe that's about to cross $1 million. Oh, you thought that was bad? Well, right now it's very popular on social media, including TikTok, to prop up cameras and do performative crime pieces like this, where they say they're never going to be okay and they empathize with what Lindsay did. In fact, it gets even worse. Now, thousands of mothers are posting deranged, psychotic episodes of them
we covered
violently
that
expressing their hatred of their own children in support of Lindsey Graham. Like, you literally...
Lindsey Graham. Jesus.
Cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see on Twitter, people are saying she's not responsible for anything that happened in a response to a tweet by Bryson Gray here.
She is, though. She just is. Look, either way, whether you think she needs to go seek help or go to jail, she's responsible. For the very least, that she sent her husband out so that she could commit these heinous murders of her own kids. I don't care. That's not something that you can just do, and people should be okay with it. No.
And then you see people on TikTok as well saying that the patriarchy is responsible for what happened here. Oh, but it gets worse. Now there's people on TikTok.
It's anyone else's fault.
Saying that the husband should have been the target of this violence. And some married women are saying, yes, this should happen to the husbands. Divorce immediately, by the way. But here's even another
Divorce
layer
and take the kids,
of the craziness here. People, these TikTok true crime junkies, are now making up fan fictions that it was the husband who did this, and then he framed his wife, which is insane. Give me 2 minutes to describe how insane this is, okay? Number one, the husband was caught on camera at a store while this was happening. But of course, social media users are claiming he had a doppelganger.
Yeah.
That was covering for him out in the public. Insane. But we don't even need to debate whether or not she did it. That is not something they're questioning.
We can
at
just
the
see
trial.
who supports her.
Defense, they know she did it. Their defense,
judge me by
is
my
that
enemies,
she
judge
was
me by who
legally
supports me.
insane because of her condition at the time, and that she was basically in a state of psychosis. She blacked out, did the stuff, woke up later and was like, my God, what have I done? That's their defense. Now, for the TikTok enthusiasts and really anyone out there, pleading insanity in an American court system is insanely hard, no pun intended. Less than 1% of insanity pleas actually work, okay? And even if you are successful in that plea. It's not like you get to go home and like nothing happened. You go to a psych ward, probably for the rest of your life. They're basically saying that no, she shouldn't go to prison, but instead should be in psychiatric care for a very long time. And most of the time when someone gets a successful insanity defense granted, they spend more time in the ward than they would have in prison, because at the end of the day, insanity defense or no, the person is not someone who is fit to live in society. So the fact that people are coming up with these theories about the husband is absolutely deranged. And if you want some somewhat good news, some of these psychos on TikTok who are expressing their support of Lindsay are being investigated by child services.
Yay!
Well, you know what, that shouldn't be too surprising when you're posting stuff like this. Literally holding your newborn, as you say.
Just like I'm about to do it any time now. I'll do it. I'll freaking do it, man. Good. Good.
But let's get to ShoeOnHead.
Not that they'll do it, that they're being investigated.
ShoeOnHead, as a mother, has been very vocal about the situation, exercising that one thing that all these wackadoos really hate, and that is common sense and just a tinge of humanity. So she shared posts like this saying over $700,000 now raised for a woman who strangled her 3 children.
Now it's over
to the end
900,000
with exercise ropes. Every single donation is from a woman. Hundreds of thousands of women in a TikTok true crime psychosis where they believe the husband did it because he looks mean. Here's another post where she responded saying, thousands of women online right now creating true crime fan fiction about the man who had to come home and see all 3 of his little innocent children brutally offed like that because sisterhood or something. I hope he sues these idiots on TikTok. She literally chased down one of them. Imagine how scared and confused they were.
Damn, I didn't know that part. Hold on. Say that again. I didn't know she chased one of the kids down. That's crazy.
I hope he sues these idiots on TikTok. She literally chased down one of them. Imagine how scared and confused they were. It actually makes me so sick. I cried like 3 times researching all this, and I had to take a break. And here's some of the defenses people are proudly sharing.
You see what Chloe said about that? Callan Clancy was strangled so hard his neck was swollen and his brain swelled so much from the force that his brain started to try and come out of the base of his skull. Yo, that's crazy, man. Tough.
And here's some of the defenses people are proudly sharing. People saying, my 3-year-old daughter took one look at him and said, that's a bad guy. Or how about this? Someone asking if there's a reason why
a psychopath's kid took one look at someone on TV and said that was a bad guy, probably because they saw the look on mommy's face.
You don't think the evidence and admitting she did it is enough. And they say, LOL, intuition. There's a lot of evidence that is still being...
There's really not.
...uncovered. And of course, people are crafting more theories about the husband, where they say in posts like this, we've learned a lot more about Lindsay
Candace Owens fans.
Clancy's husband as the trial has played out, yada, 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 and that he failed his wife and kids. Yes, it's the husband's fault.
Nothing like the whole internet trying to push you to suicide after your kids are murdered by your wife.
That she strangled their 3 children. Yeah, it's the husband. Well, here's the problem, right? You can see a note that is applied to the previous tweet saying Patrick Clancy, the husband, took 12 weeks of paternity leave and began working from home following the end of his leave. He was actively involved in the parenting and his wife's medical treatments. Where Shoe would reply, end quote, saying, we've learned a lot more about Lindsay Clancy's husband, end quote. You watched some TikToks by Pitbull Mama 78 who told you about Lindsay Clancy's husband using her intuition and tarot cards or some stupid stuff. Shut the F up.
And that's what kills me. The more facts that come out, the more it looks like that this guy, he put his whole life on hold. He found ways to stay home, make sure that his wife and kids were taken care of. He was doing all the things. He was the kind of guy that these people who are now making up conspiracy theories about him always seem to say that they would like. Someone who would do all this, who would go through all these hoops and hurdles just to make them feel appreciated, wanted, and taken care of. Again, this guy took 12 weeks of paternity leave, started working from home by the end of his leave so that he could be more actively involved and take care of his family. And he's being seen as a monster online just because, 3-4 months after the whole thing took place, that he sought comfort somewhere else after they were already gone and done. She's going away for life, regardless. I'm sorry, there are certain things that you just can't come back from. Murdering the entire rest of the family besides us is one of those things. I'm sorry. I'm just wired that way. It's crazy.
And then TMZ, in their infinite wisdom and embarrassing coverage as per usual, saying Patrick Clancy spotted with a new wife amid ex-wife Lindsay's murder trial. And again, a note is applied saying it's been 3 years and 7 months since his ex-wife offed his children. Yeah, because apparently if your now ex-wife offs your children, 3 years later you're not allowed to move on. In fact, you're the problem. They're more mad at you than the wife and the demonic acts she did. But Shoe adds on saying, the offing happened 3 years ago, by the way, but I guess he's never allowed to try and live a normal life and to be a father again after finding his 3 children brutally offed by his ex. And here's another post by Shoe saying, if you are dating a by his ex again after finding his 3 children brutally offed by his ex. And here's another post by Shoe saying, if you are dating a woman, ask her about this viral case being talked about where a woman strangled her 3 kids. If she is on her side or thinks the husband did it, her brain has been fried by TikTok, and you need to break up with her now. Showing some of the people saying you'll never make me hate Lindsay Clancy, and also people hypothesizing in their fan fictions that the husband was the one who did this and then framed the wife. And here's someone trying to basically gaslight everyone. Like, you've seen just the tiniest bit of all these viral posts, but you've seen enough. But people are gaslighting, saying it's amazing how much of ShoeOnHead's discourse is her pretending that TikTok and Twitter is real life and getting mad about it. And she says this, the hundreds of thousands of women on TikTok liking, posting, defending, donating to the woman who offed her children don't exist in the real world. They just exist in the realm of TikTok, not real life walking amongst us. Fascinating.
Yeah.
And here's one final post, and this is just...
Like, you can say that about a lot of the online discourse, about the fact that most people only talk about things that they see online. Like me. Hi. But I can say I still know the difference between reality and social media, 100%. These people do not. People saying things like this. I mean, look at... Oh, that was almost tragic. Almost knocked my coffee. Hold on. Oh, yeah, that was almost tragic. Okay. I need to stop talking with my hands when I have coffee present. But, oh, yeah. Okay, moving that there, moving this here. But yeah, no, the fact that this person is pointing that out, someone who has Donald Trump in a keffiyeh. It is pretty hilarious.
Amongst us. Fascinating. And here's one final post, and this is just, it's just sad. Like, this whole situation is so evil, and the reactions are also incredibly evil. She says this, referring to the kids, they were probably so scared and confused. It makes me so sick every single time I think about it, and I have to go hug my son. She really needs to effing fry, and every one of these regarded schmores supporting her, projecting themselves onto her, needs to be neutered. These people are evil. They are genuinely evil. I'm telling you, evil exists in the world, and when you realize it...
Hold on, sorry. You aren't going to get this reference at all because it's from a fan-made Five Nights at SpongeBob's, but I'm going to say the quote anyway. It's amazing how the human body can live without the ass.
It starts to somewhat make more sense because it's really hard to grasp how people are supporting this stuff. Giving $1 million to this woman, saying, same Lindsay, and also using their kids as props, having psychotic, violent outbursts regarding their own children and posting it publicly. This is genuine evil.
Rest in peace, little
Okay, at this point,
I agree.
Guys, I'm worried the 19th Amendment is going to be repealed from this case. Like, that's how bad things are going right now. It has been an eye-opener for millions of people, and the situation just keeps getting worse, and it's not getting better anytime soon. But at the end of the day,
fine, but I'm not necessarily for that.
Is being shown on evil here, okay? The evil nature of these people is being exposed, and no one's forcing it, right? They're doing this on their own volition. Think about that. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. If you
real quick, hot off the fan request presses, Luigi's Ballad. Hold on. Starburn.
Princess Peach, won't you listen to my speech? I don't have any stars of invincibility, but you're the brightest star in the sky tonight for me. I'm your Luigi.
What up, bitch? I got a what up, bitch? What's inside the question block? It's my dick. It's a me, a Mario. I'm more Italian than pastrami. I'll take you by the peaches and give you the hot salami. I save you from dragons and evil blues that are spooky. Must I be a raccoon to get inside your tanuki? I will melt you like Yoshi and show you things you've never seen. My mushrooms now mega, if you know what I mean. So suck it!
Mario, let's do this shit. I like a girl and you ruin it by yelling stuff about your dick until they go away. Hey Luigi, it's so...
Hold on real quick. 1 up equals erection, question block equals pants with a dick. Pastrami, what the fuck is... Bro. Okay. Now I kind of wish I hadn't gone back and looked at it.
Oh, princess. It means so much for me to hear you say that.
It's a trap.
The only thing I've ever wanted to tell you is
It's a
that...
trap.
Damn it, I'm here to pleasure that ass. I'd like to go first, princess, but I always come last. And you say we'll get together, but I'm jacking off alone. Koopa Troopa skeletons are the only drive on. I am tired of your run around. It's such a fucking hassle. I go through shit and then you're in another fucking castle. You gotta think about it. Well, I don't believe the hype. You'll have a lot of time to think when you are smoking on my war pipe.
OMG, I can't decide on which of you should be the guy to take me on a mustache ride that'll redefine my life.
I'm ready to give love a shot. It's not about how many coins you got. I just know I like you a lot.
Yo, sluts, check out my yacht.
Want a poke, motherfucker.
I'll bust on your balloons when I smack your...
Hold on, sorry. I don't think you could look it up, but if you watch Markiplier's 3 SpongeBob games, it's there. This is Barrett's theme song.
I'll keep that Donkey Kong riding his conky
Yo.
Come on, Peach, it's time to make your
Don't
choice.
hit him in the conky dong.
That can make your boobies rejoice. Scream like he ass brother ain't got shit on me. It's time to put out a story of the princess and the pea. So,
The
who's gonna
princess
be
and
princess?
the pea.
I
Ness.
choose Toad.
Toad?
Well, his whole body's shaped like a dick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. See, and it's stuff like this that kind of makes me wish I had been born. Like, culturally, I wish I had been born like 10 years earlier. But as far as tech goes, and just certain things, I wish I had been born like 10 years later. That way, a few of my friends and I, from that I've met over the years, mostly from where I was from, could have, because there's this band called Super Smashed Brothers, like Drunk, and I think, and this song kind of reminds me of their style. So I think we could have at least done something interesting like this. Like, let's see how many, 2.8 million subscribers, 63 million views. Oh, this is Ego Raptor. Oh, that makes sense. But yeah, I think it would have been interesting to see me and the guys from that band doing something like this. They're a lot of fun.
The Home Office appears to have...
Hey, isn't it Western? Okay. Now, when I say UK migrants, I say UK migrants. You say rape. So one.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pilgrims.
Well, they've had to issue some new guidelines again for migrants. Okay. Namely like, don't rape, don't sexually assault kids. We have laws here, all that. But before we get to
did
that,
you know it's frowned upon over here?
as we all know, one inescapable fact
Pete's
of
real
life,
good at putting
diversity is
stuff
our
in.
greatest strength.
Yeah, a little bit.
We've shown diversity is a strength, not a weakness. It makes us richer, not poorer.
Our strength, and what is literally unique among major countries around the world, is our diversity.
Our diversity is a strength.
It's not a strength unless you have unity within said diversity. Hello.
In the 21st century.
We are we must be united in our diversity.
We need societies that recognize diversity as a source of strength.
Yes.
Not as a source of weakness.
Diversity is our strength.
We believe diversity is our strength in the Commonwealth.
In a time of rising populism and ethnic nationalism, Canada can show how diversity is a strength, not a weakness.
We recognize
sure about
today that our diversity is our greatest strength.
Okay.
Oh, yes,
So let
pip,
me
pip,
get
it all
to the
that
story
there,
and
sir.
read you all of the quotes from the manual. Usually we try to not use right-leaning sources because we want to be objective and see what the other side is saying. But this one, the landing is just stuck so perfectly. So the UK Home Office, they released these manuals to specifically instruct migrants not to commit all of these crimes. Here's the best coverage of it I've seen.
The Home Office appears to have just accepted that they are importing rapists and paedophiles. They are giving illegal migrants a booklet on how not to rape women and children.
Here's a booklet on how not to sodomize people.
Asylum seekers have been told that sex with kids is bad.
They ain't reading that.
I'm just glad they're finally recognizing that something's going on.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, too, right? They had the raping, the grooming gangs, and the government covered it up. That is.
And that's the craziest thing. Just arrest them. Or possibly, if they have no positive aspects especially, but really just in general, send them the fuck back.
One of the greatest betrayals I can think of against people who you are supposed to represent. But we've experienced this for a long time. This has been going on in Europe, and they simply silence, suppress it, and big tech for the longest time worked in tandem to suppress these stories, right? It wasn't allowed to circulate on platforms like Facebook, back when Zuckerberg was left, back when Dorsey was left, back when YouTube was Wojcicki, everything was left. And then they would work in tandem with these fact checkers, places like Washington Post, PolitiFact, or Snopes, who were also biased. So 2016, we released this at louderwithcrowder.com, and it was a story that finally got traction. Some German authorities, they had to pass out leaflets.
Sorry, what on earth is that, Skip? Why did it sound like he said, hey, isn't that a crave? It did. And we believe your strength is being retarded. Sure, be retarded.
Telling migrants not to rape. And there you go. You can actually see pictures right there where it literally showing a hand squeezing a butt. Like, don't squeeze the cheeks. Don't grab the women if they don't want to have sex with you. You probably shouldn't.
No, I know. I know they are not covered in the way that you are used to, but do not touch the booty.
So this was after there was a huge New Year's Eve, like a mass sexual assault event in Cologne. You guys, if those of you, comment below if you remember the story. Snopes fact-checked our story and said mostly false. Not because the pamphlets weren't printed out and handed to migrants, and not because there wasn't a mass rape event. But they said these pamphlets were originally printed in 2013. They were just redistributed en masse in Cologne in 2016. So it's even worse. We never said this was the first time. We just said, hey, isn't it crazy they had to hand out thousands upon thousands of pamphlets in the Western world to tell people with pictorials that you shouldn't rape?
Yeah, that doesn't make it better. That just makes it sound like they said, scheißen.
Yeah.
Go get those leaflets again.
Yes, exactly right. It almost makes it worse because there's like, what happened in Cologne? We have to reprint the pamphlets. What's this, the third Ford printing? It's like we have the director's cut.
Yeah, because they worked 3 years ago.
Right. So that brings us to now, UK Home Office. They don't want, as they talk about this, they've released this manual, and I'm going to read it for you. But they don't want to let you know, because diversity is their strength, what kind of migrants might be most likely to commit this, perhaps. If I were to wager a guess, might be people like this?
I don't like what you are doing.
We just want to tell your story.
Story?
You want to tell your story about why you're here.
Bad, you know.
Yeah? So when you come to the UK...
It's crack right there.
What do you think the opportunities are for you?
I'm not going to UK, I'm going to Scotland.
Okay.
Well... Is that sign language for Somalia?
I only interest to fuck.
Are you going to come and enrich our country by the sounds of it?
Yeah.
It would be one thing if he answered like, well, I'm not coming to the UK.
I've been watching a lot of
Scotland
reality
is part
TV.
Of the UK, but we see it as when people think UK, they think England, so we prefer Scotland because of the topography. And, you know, not to, of course, Northern Ireland is a separate thing, but instead it's, I'm here to fuck!
Which way to it?
For crying out loud, Scotland. I mean, I'm a big fan of Braveheart. What is that? It just be, hey, would you trade one Somali? Yeah.
Yeah, sure would.
You trade? No, let me finish. Would you trade one Somali?
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
Put the party one Somali.
For honesty.
Would you trade one Somali for if the other one is like an Arab but who's like black?
100 times, yes.
All right, okay, so no Somalis. Seems like the rate is the hang-up.
I don't think William Wallace would have been stretched for this.
No.
He'd have been like, no, go home, lads.
I mean, so here's
they were only worried about one guy.
I mean, he might have been stretched, but not in the way that Gerald's thinking of.
Having sex with their wives.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, hey, the king can't just have sex with our women, right?
Like, look at us. We are all prima nocta now. Oh, shite!
Prima nocta's not so bad, I guess.
The last 1,000 kings of Scotland.
Oh, we'll just a few of them in, and now an entire generation of Scotsmen are being born with peanut M&M heads. It's not racist. This is in the past. So, here are the manuals from the UK. This is real. Go read it. This comes from gov.uk. We understand that coming to a new country can be difficult, and that laws and customs here may be different from your own country. In the UK, there are laws that protect everyone's safety, dignity, and rights. It's important that you understand them, because not following UK law can, meaning may, have some serious consequences.
Maybe.
I mean, it could, unless you stab a poor boy, and then lie about it, and then we don't do our due diligence and check him for stabby wounds, and then he dies.
Oh,
maybe not.
Maybe.
Who knows?
For example, in the UK, women can actually work, study, travel, and make their own choices.
What? No, it's not good for me.
Wait.
This was a serious hang-up for one of our interpreters in Afghanistan, and he said he wanted to come to America, and I was like, oh, that'd be great. Your wife can just go to the store and drive a car whenever she wants. And he was like, what? and then we all started messing with him and saying that they could do anything they wanted. And,
He took the application.
Oh, yeah. By the way, update, he made it.
Oh!
He made it, and guess who didn't?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Very common for that place.
They just come over and not the family.
Yeah, just leave their old family.
Yeah.
If they have sons, maybe they come too.
Poor migrants. Look, we do have a heart for them, which brings me to section number 2. In the UK, it is illegal, meaning unlawful, to hurt, threaten, or control your partner or family. This includes, but is not limited to, honour-based violence or abuse. I know I like a good honour killing, but if you do that, it's against the law.
An honour killing, an offer killing, either way.
You may lose, this is a real quote, you may lose your asylum support.
May.
So, I'm not saying that things can't be made right. People have come back from worse than honour killings here. but it's a risk you take. You may lose your asylum support. So think about that, isn't it? Long and hard.
Honour killings.
We had to remind migrants to not abuse children. This is real. Go read it at the UK official website. You must never cut or harm a girl's genitals.
What?
This too could, not necessarily will, but could affect your asylum claim.
This doesn't end it?
If you take a rusty razor to a little lady's nitherbit, it could reflect poorly on your asylum claim.
Oh, yeah, could possibly.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, that's a crazy thing. Come on, I mean, it's not like a common thing anywhere. It's not like Somalia, circumcises 98% of their women. Oh, but they do.
Right.
It's completely wrong in any case. But putting them on hormones, you could do that one.
It's an actual fact.
What I'm trying to say
it's true, and I'm not Tucker Carlson saying it's true.
No,
Like, this is when you can really look up.
What I'm trying to say is, hey, you may have for a good part of your life been used to taking a rusty butcher knife to lady bits, but hey, it's never too late to make better choices. Huh?
Otherwise, it could.
It's all right. You're here now. You don't have to do all them barbaric misgivings there. You can just come here.
Real. If you have sex with someone who does not want to, this is called rape.
Like, why does this read like a kid's book? But it's not a kid's book. This is an adult book for people from other countries. You're talking to them like kids. Oi, did you know that wiping people's bad? It makes people feel bad in their feeling space, inside their chest. It's not good for them or for you. Did you know it's bad for you too? You could possibly see the inside of a jail cell for a night.
This is true. This is the exact follow-up, word for word. If you have sex without consent, you could go to prison.
It's possible.
If you have sex with someone who does not want to, this is called rape. Can you imagine just hearing that, them reading it? Like,
wait,
what?
What?
Yep. Okay.
Al Bundy sitting here like, I could have just said that she did that.
It's called what? You have a word for this? We call it fun.
Yeah, right. So you say tomato, I say horrible PTSD for life from sexual trauma. Let's try and build some momentum with, I'm not saying no rape, less rape. That's a start, isn't it? You could do time if you rape a bunch of women and circumcise a bunch of children against their will. You could face consequences.
Oh.
But you know what? For worse consequences, not only I can give you, isn't it? It's that after all the rape and female circumcision, you have to face that man in the mirror.
That's the worst part of it.
And his big smile.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's the other. Pedophilia. Now, let me ask you this. Would they have to write all this and distribute it unless it was a serious problem?
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They haven't until now. So I mean,
I know. Just imagine going into any group.
Well, and it's absolutely insane. It sounds like they. If I see these come out in like a Dr. Seussian rhythmic pattern, you guys want me to write this in Dr. Seussian rhythmic pattern? I'll do it. I won't enjoy it much, but I'll do it.
In the United States, and having to tell them this.
I will find every copy. I will find a copy of this book, and I will reframe it. I'll have to do it all by myself too, because ChatGPT, I'm pretty sure, won't help me with this. But yeah,
It's like you guys are all familiar with rape, right? Who needs a refresher?
maybe that's the way we should propose, immigration laws. Like, hey, are you okay with people coming to this country? Yes, of course. But what if they don't know what rape is?
That's a very good point.
What if they don't know that raping a child is bad?
Right. I'm the Frank Luntz of the UK, right? Okay, listen, migrant. If this migrant really likes to rape a lot, will this make you more favourable, less favourable, or don't know?
Don't know.
All right.
Not an
if he
expert.
likes to diddle kids, like a lot, will this make you more favourable toward the migrant group, less favourable, I don't know?
How much is a lot?
I'd say, like...
Maybe a little.
Weekends...
a bit, just a bit.
Tuesdays are not good for me, mate.
That's right, but it's good for him. I put down, I don't know.
I don't know.
I put down, don't know. That's right. Hey,
I heard somewhere Tuesday's gone with the wind. It might be a bit of an old song reference, but I will stick with it.
How do you feel about cutting off clitori?
For it.
Favourable.
For it.
That's favourable.
So here we call it the clitoris.
Favourable. That one's going to Scotland.
Takes too long to pleasure them.
I mean, you never will if you get rid of it. I mean, think about these things, man.
They can't do it because it's a myth.
What they need that for? They're not getting off.
It's time for them to stop being so selfish, isn't it?
Can't get a woman off, you can only get a man off. Ain't that right, Jared?
That's right. That's right. Finally thinking about me for a change.
I mean, he's the one that said it, though, so, I mean, that puts a bit on him, isn't it?
Here's a real one. Not to be pedophiles. I'm going to read it verbatim.
Pedophile. They say that word better than
Sex
Oi,
or
he's a
sexual
pedo.
contact with anyone under the age of 16 is a serious crime in the UK. Even if they look older. or
Does it really say that?
is allowed in another country. You must never have sex with anyone under 16.
Even if they look older, they put that bit in there. What are we even talking about?
You could be arrested by police and go to prison.
I mean, it's possible.
You could be arrested if you have sex with a child.
Look, always check for ID, all right? You have to. It's for your own safety, mate. And also, no rape.
So, I know it's fine in another country, even if it's allowed in another, perhaps one that you're quite familiar with. But let's try and let
the one you
old
came
habits
from.
die hard.
Because
right?
here, you could be arrested. You also could be helped and covered up for.
That's right. That's right.
It's case-by-case basis,
Look,
so...
No one's perfect. Okay? Me, least of all. All right? It's not lost on me, isn't it? But I don't have sex with kids. So what I'm asking is perhaps you could consider next time you have sex with a child to not? Something like that.
Jesus. Reasonable.
It's getting a
Here's the
bit
next one
molesty, isn't
regarding
it?
respect in public. In the UK, everyone has a right to feel safe in public.
Yeah.
You must never make
One, it's not all right, but, I mean, stop doing things to make it, less possible is what I'm saying here.
sexual comments to strangers. This, unlikely, but could affect your asylum claim. So to review, if you rape a woman, if you circumcise a female child...
You can't walk up to even an adult woman and say, hey, I like the way you've arranged your dirty pillows today. Don't say that to them. All right, I might take offence to it. Don't do it.
If you have sex with children, or sexually assault women in a public sphere, all of these things they very well could affect your asylum claim.
I gotta say, I don't know. I don't know if it would be more understandable or sillier if they put some of these lesser ones that are getting to right now in the front and work your way up to the really bad ones, or if to do it the way that they've actually done it here. I don't know.
Let's make better choices, right? All right. Now go forward with no sort of tracking mechanism whatsoever, and we'll hope for the best.
It'll be all right.
Very disappointed in you.
Yes. And by the way, they've actually integrated these lessons, so you can please go check that. That's an actual manual. At what point do you say you failed your entire society? And now they've integrated.
It sounds like we made those up.
It does.
It sounds like we made that up for comedy. I wanted to be very clear. We did not.
You can go
make those up.
Listening on audio.
Those are real posters. We didn't make those posters.
Nope. And they have integrated it into a real lesson/orientation class at their immigration offices.
Thank you all for being here in the UK.
God.
We're all very super excited to have you seeking asylum here in our homes. Thank you. Quick few no-nos, okay? Few things. Number one, domestic abuse. All right? Don't do it. Don't beat your wife. I don't care what she said or how ugly she is. You can't do it. All right? Number two, child abuse. It doesn't matter how stupid your kids are. Don't hit them, okay? Number three, rape. Don't do it. No means no. Sex with children. Don't do it. Ever. Even if they say yes. Doesn't matter. Number five, harassment.
Fuck, man.
Don't do it. And finally, bestiality.
Looking at you, Cenk
It goes
Younger.
without saying, isn't it? You can't do it. You can't have sex with animals. No! I don't care how sweet their cheeks look. You can't have sex with the goat.
But the cheeks are so good. She was asking for it.
Oh, gosh. How about just you don't get to come into the if you ever have to hand
She'd
out.
just been sheared.
She was not. She was not asking for it, sir. Goat can't speak to you.
She was bleating for it.
Can't.
She said, bah, which in my country means yes. I want.
I was told that she only screams for me.
I think
I
you
don't
hear
know
what you
that
want to
accent
hear.
is.
I hear what she wants.
No.
She wants it. Look at her. She was making those slutty sheep eyes at me.
I looked
Deep
at her and
down,
said,
you
"Don't be
lie."
sheepish."
I know. Sorry, go ahead. I'm a child.
Jesus.
No, but listen, if you have to hand out a pamphlet, that's a good sign that person shouldn't be there in the first place. And by the way, if we were handing, listen, okay, all right, people come in from other countries, they need to know your laws. That's fantastic. Wouldn't you be more threatening?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be like, hey, you can't murder people here.
Right.
We're going to kick you out, and by kick you out is drop you in the ocean somewhere.
Well,
hey, you can't rape here.
I know.
Stop.
They're very polite, so.
Like, yeah. You can't rape here.
You
Might
don't
be able
do
to-
it.
I'm not going to tell them what to do in their house. But the closest thing I have here, and I remember feeling silly. Toolman, no, you remember this. Like, we had to have a statement with some employees. Like, hey, look, so we have like beer here, and there's like this full bar that we have for guests. Like, but we've had to buy like 18 extra whiskey and tequila bottles. So like, don't drink hard liquor throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then
Every
like,
day.
we also have said like, hey, if you want to grab a cigar, because we do Ash Wednesday, and I have a bunch here from
day.
sponsor. We were like, but don't, when Patrick Bet David brings in a very nice anniversary box of Padrones, don't smoke all of them before the person to whom it was gifted can have one.
Yeah.
Like, we felt so silly. Like, I can't believe we have to do this, and then we have to change the rules for everybody. Now, take that and add female circumcision and rape and pedophilia. Like, guys, I can't believe I'm having this conversation, but please, don't be sleeping with kids.
And the real issue is that 5-10 years down the road, if we remain on this trajectory, they'll be like, I guess female circumcision really isn't that bad,
Right.
Just go for it.
Right.
Makes my job easier.
Yeah. Remember.
Does it though? Like, I don't understand. I mean, most of them have been rubbed raw anyway.
I said it. Well, no, I said I would never talk about
Can't
it.
say
clip you
that
with
out
that
loud.
because I tried to use a stupid accent.
Oh,
it's
we
the
can
only
totally
saving
clip it.
grace I have.
So, look, I know as best as anyone. She.
Anyway.
In Texas, we see what happened with Karmelo Anthony, and you said it was a trap.
Here we go.
So on Sunday,
And this one,
the Jubilee episode.
this one I think is just funny because Alex Jones, love him or hate him, he has been right a whole lot. He's been wrong quite a bit too. But I used to be a pretty big fan of him until he went kind of off the rails. He's really interesting to watch. From everyone I know who has ever met him, they said that he was just as nice and cordial as can be, as long as you didn't say anything too crazy to him. But I don't know, the fact that he was the one famous person who Sneeko would actually try to debate just because he knew that Alex would go off the rails and just start ooh, 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 and all that stuff. But he's gone nuts of late, and it's kind of crazed, and he's been going full tilt at Tim Pool after one fairly docile tweet. Let's get into it.
With me dropped. My name's been trending nonstop since. Lefties are writing fake news. This is what press does. This is what the media is. It's all fake. It's all attention economy stuff. Well, the first thing I'll say is it's a slow news day. We do got big news about Eric Swalwell, which I'm setting up for the 4 p.m. like principal segment. It's like the big news of the day. I try to do that at 4 p.m. and get smaller stories in. But hey, I won't leave you hanging. Alex Jones has challenged me to a bare knuckle boxing match. I don't care. It's stupid. What I do care about is I think Alex Jones is compromised, and it's the weird thing to say because it's like it feels.
I
so
think he's just gone
fantastical.
batshit insane.
But let me explain. In December, Alex Jones was on the rational side of news, politics, and alternative media, correctly pointing out that Candace Owens' claims didn't add up, didn't make sense. She had no evidence. In fact, he got into it with Owen Schroyer over some of these issues relating to Israel. Recently, he flipped, publicly apologizing to Candace. That's remarkable. I mean, you know, I'll tell you this. Like, my opinion on gun rights hasn't really changed all that much. My opinion on abortion has not changed for the most part in, like, forever. Still not a diehard pro-lifer. Don't agree with the Democrats, don't get me wrong. But what new information can be introduced in such a short amount of time that would alter the fundamental worldview of an individual? So I'll give you some examples of what I think is going on. As I've been saying for some time, that there was a play in the Trump side. Seemingly Trump's friends broke with them and adopted this like anti-Trump stance. And I was talking about how in February, the rumor was that Tulsi Gabbard was going to resign, that she was going to have be part of a political campaign, either running as a Democrat or third party or something, a spoiler candidate for Democrats. Maybe not necessarily Tulsi, but we'll see this with Joe Kent, Tucker Carlson. And I was told it was like, no way. Now, certainly some people were like, you know, it'll be interesting if we see it. But I was talking with some dudes who work in D.C., and they were basically saying, the strategy is this. Democratic socialists are taking over. They're a third of the Democratic Party right now, and they're deeply unpopular. The idea is to prevent them from winning and to capitalize on the division. The sort of left flank of Trump MAGA, which is, you know, Tulsi Gabbard, anti-war, is going to break away and create a spoiler. It's going to create an opportunity for moderate Democrats to leave the Democratic Party and vote for a third party, or potentially they'll run as Democrats. We don't know for sure, but I'm not entirely positive. What do we see now? Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, Joe Kent, they are forming their breakaway party, Tulsi Gabbard.
I'm not a fan, particularly. I used to be a big Thomas Massie fan. Then, I don't know what happened to him, man. He's just kind of disappointing.
Resigned. All of these things are lining up. Tucker Carlson, Candace, to a certain degree, Megyn Kelly, and now Alex Jones are now inverting their positions. This is very strange. What could have happened that made Tucker Carlson say, I shouldn't have supported Donald Trump. I didn't know he would do this. And, you know, for that, I sincerely apologize. Followed by his brother literally telling him maybe the $100 million from Miriam Adelson was for something. That is to say, Tucker Carlson knew that Miriam Adelson was providing $100 million in funding through various PACs and organizations to help Trump get elected because they wanted Trump to back Israel. Tucker knew this. I don't know why he wouldn't. Tucker's been very anti-Muslim, but all of a sudden, now he's, Muslim's not so bad. Islam's not so bad. It's interesting. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene is more just anti-war, more America First populist. Thomas Massie as well. Thomas Massie's had some weird things, like he attacked Nick Shirley for no reason. And I'm just like, that's weird, but, you know, Massie's still a friend, and I think he's a scholar and a gentleman. Still a big fan. Though we disagree on things, the truth is with Massie, I've disagreed with him the whole time I've known him. But he's always been honorable, and people are allowed to disagree. But here's the thing. Alex Jones is overtly lying about everything. And this, to me, is odd. He's aligned himself with Tucker. He's got a picture of him and Tucker with Candace. And it seems like something changed on a dime. I'll give you some examples. Let me pull this up. Here's Alex Jones saying Tim Pool just endorsed the Iran war again. Oh, hold on. Anybody who's watched my show knows that literally yesterday, my 10 a.m. segment was me saying, we've depleted our SPR. This is a massive failure. Just is. Trump's not going to tell us the truth about it. The reason that he's doing it, it's this global energy dominance plan. So why would Alex Jones put out a lie? I just find it weird. Let me see what else we have from Alex as we're getting into all this.
Why? Because again, Candace Owens is making him look calm and civil, and he can't have that. That's his trademark. That's his brand. So he's got to come out and say a bunch of ridiculous shit as well.
There's the weird Chris Martinson stuff. Also very, very weird, to be completely honest. I don't know where the I haven't been tweeting at every single thing. He's saying that admitted I took money from the Russians. That's a lie. He's saying that I secretly met with Netanyahu. Also a lie.
Yeah, it wasn't a secret. He advertised it.
He
He
says you're on the
broadcasted
record
it. He
taking
talked
money
about
from
it.
the Russians and meeting secretly with Netanyahu. So here's the thing that I bring up. Alex knows full well that none of that is true. He's already had probably 700 tweets at him where after I met with Netanyahu in April of 2025, as I'm walking out of the Blair House, I tweeted, I just had a meeting with Netanyahu, and we'll discuss everything that he said. To which we did. He was advocating for war with Iran. He was trying to lobby American media to support it. Half the room really didn't want to do it.
Yep.
I specifically stated that support for Israel was cooked, that the young people are not going to get behind it, either because you've got a right wing that doesn't want to fund Israel and a left wing that outright hates Israel. And that was the meeting. Now, hold on there, gosh darn minute.
Seems reasonable.
I've never supported this war in Iran. Said I wouldn't vote for it. Said it's bad. We're between a rock and a hard place. We don't want the United States to lose when it gets in these situations. Like the withdrawal from Afghanistan was a disaster. This is the best analogy for it, right? The Afghan withdrawal under Biden was a nightmare, despite the fact we were all hoping for a withdrawal. They just screwed it all up. So we want the U.S. to win, but we don't like the circumstances we find ourselves in. And now they're depleting the SPR to an insane degree to offset the high prices, which is screwing the economy and bad news for Republicans going to the midterms, which is why I called it a failure. Why is Alex lying? Honest question. And the only reason I cover it is, admittedly, fair point, it is a relatively slow news day, and Alex is creating drama trying to make news out of it. But it does play into what I've been saying about this shift from a faction of the Trump side going to break away and form a new party. So Alex Jones is now repeating the statements made by the Democrats. The Russia stuff? Bro, Alex Jones runs RT sources, Russia Today, all the time. I never do. How is he all of a sudden being like, Russia? Huh? That's what Merrick Garland and the Democrats were putting out against people like me. And
Yeah.
I've never taken a single penny from any foreign source ever for any reason. Yeah, literally.
And again, all those speculations about Tim Pool getting paid. There is a loose connection. I can't remember the girl's name. Is it Lauren Chin? Said, hey, I've got this deal from this place for you to start a second channel or some such. So he did, and that became, I think, the culture war. And they never, I mean, they pretty much say the same thing they do on all of his other shows. Nothing pro-Russia, nothing anti-American. He's stayed pretty much on point and on message from what his normal message is, all the way through it. At least as far as I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong.
Like I've been to Spain, never took money from any Spanish government, from the Spanish government, or Mexico, or any. None, not one time. In fact, I was at DEF CON, the hacker convention, and actually gave a talk about how RT was trying to license footage from me over Sweden, and I told them to kick rocks, pound sand, and they didn't want to let up. I said, I just don't do that. I run normal business. We don't do any of that weird foreign government stuff. I don't even know how to begin doing that stuff. So the question that I have, and the point I'm making is, I think that there's a controlled opposition in essence. And that is like Candace changing her position, Tucker changing his position. It seems to align with some kind of manufactured division between left and right. I had tweeted last year, the new left-right divide will be Israel. And then people who are
Seems to be.
I don't know, short-sighted, were like, but the left and the right agree on Israel. No. The new left-right divide is going to be the left is going to be anti-Israel, the right's going to be pro-Israel. That's the point. The new divide between the left and the right. So when you look at like Anna Kasparian and Tucker Carlson largely agreeing on their political positions, Alex is aligning himself with one of these factions, attacking me for literally no reason. Now, Alex is trying to claim that I attacked him first because I pointed out that I said you can't build a pro-Trump audience for 10 years and then change and expect and then be surprised when your audience drops off. He took that. Guys, let's be real. Like, obviously, Alex doesn't take that as an insult. He took it as an open door to play whatever game he and his cohorts are playing, where they've inverted their political positions. Alex isn't all of a sudden just believing that there is some Russia conspiracy. He spoke out against it for years. So why would he now take the Democrat position of the Russians are trying to manipulate our elections? The Netanyahu thing is largely aligned with like the Young Turks and the left as well. Even Nick Fuentes is calling that kind of stuff out.
Exactly.
So why is Alex Jones now aligning himself with the Democrats? Honest question. You guys answer me. You comment below. What other things has he pointed out? Well, anyway, I'll show you this. The one thing I will say is largely it's just like very fake. He's challenging me to a bare knuckle boxing match. Well, the reality is he's been posting these fake things saying that I support Israel or endorse the war, which he's getting tons of response from people being like, Tim's been fairly critical of Israel, just not obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And
he has
I've routinely
been.
said we shouldn't be providing foreign funding to them or any other country for that matter. I'm very anti-interventionist.
Yeah, he's been pretty much along the same lines as myself or Nuxtaku or whoever. He says we think they're a good ally. They're probably our best ally. But we need to stop sending them money.
So why is Alex just lying? It's an honest question. He's doing what the media did during Trump. It's the deep state playbook. It literally is. And, I can put it like this. Tucker Carlson was a mainstream corporate press guy. He was on MSNBC as like a moderate. Then he went to CNN. Then he was moderately conservative. Then he hosted Fox News as the right-wing pundit.
Yeah.
Now he's independent, and he's now shifted again.
Insane with a
liberal, conservative, whatever she is now, conspiratard, I don't know. These shifts happen rapidly. But Alex has never been like that. Alex has been fairly consistent up until now. What just happened? They destroyed his company.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if, when Alex goes on his show and he says, I don't even have 10,000, all I have is 10,000 in my bank account, that you
more than I
get
got.
special interests saying, we're going to lay up, but we want you to push these narratives and push these messages, and here's what you're going to say. Here's the alignment you're going to take. So he's challenging me to a bare knuckle boxing match or whatever. It's fake. None of this is real. I think the issue is that I got a lot of attention on Jubilee. I had mixed road positions for which you can see the progressives are losing their minds. They don't. Actually, Destiny made a really funny point when one of the progressives asked if I thought white supremacists voted for Trump hoping that ICE would kill migrants. I said, yes. Because, duh, like these people are on X, they're saying these things.
Yeah.
And then they don't know how to react to that. Oh, no, but Tim's supposed to be right wing. How could...
I mean, you asked if white supremacists did a thing, and I'm sure that's the case. Am I saying that's the majority of that side of the political divide? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. At least not according to any available data. I mean, it's the same thing as asking a Christian if they think this or like being gay or whatever is a sin. The answer is yes. The real question is, why do you give a fuck? If you're not particularly religious. Do I think you're a bad person? Do I not want to be around you? These are the real questions. But you only care about the one thing just because you want an argument or you have a few talking points to get out.
Could he have a moderate position? Because sometimes there's just a reality. I think the purpose, a lot of what we get, and I think many of you would agree, there is an intentional mechanism towards division. And with woke dying out, what's the new left-right paradigm? Certainly some of it is going to be what we would call emergent. It could be that Alex Jones just sees a path towards viewership and takes it because, you know, he's got no scruples. Or it could be that there is a mechanism behind these channels that says, here's the line we're going to take. When I worked at Fusion, it was very much that. They said, this is what young people want. This is the line we're going to take. And I went, nah. Like, I'm not going to just say stupid nonsense that makes no sense. I'm going to say what I think. You know, the machine doesn't like that very much. So here we are. Alex Jones claimed that I was pro-Israel. And then even actually like a really great example. Like, obviously, I am not pro-Israel. Really, just Israel ambivalent is the way to describe it. But what was the one I just showed? Where he says, Tim just endorsed the Iran war. And so I posted this right here. Literally me starting off the video. Here, let's just roll tape. This is failure. Me reacting to me. Sorry, it just is. Literally calling the war in Iran a failure that Trump will not tell us the truth about. Why would Alex lie? This is the overt playbook the deep state did forever, okay? It just is, guys. We found ourselves watching the news every day, wondering how it is that Trump could say something like, we should condemn neo-Nazis and white nationalists, yet somehow the media would say Trump endorses them. And you'd be sitting there being like, I don't understand. I'm literally watching the clip you posted in the article where he says the opposite, but they say something different. The media said Trump calls Nazis fine people, and then you watch the video and Trump says, and I'm not talking about neo-Nazis. How?
Which is absolutely true. That's actually what happened. They take little clips and they're hoping you won't rewind or fast forward 10 to 15 seconds on either side.
Could it have been that those of us with discerning minds were watching something so insane? How about double masking from Fauci? These things that we knew they just made up. How could they get away with saying the exact opposite of what a person said on TV? That was the deep state playbook the whole time. You would get Trump saying, Trump comes out and he goes, you see this, they're doing this study out of France, hydroxychloroquine they're calling it, they're saying maybe that can help. The media then runs the report. Trump says, eat fish cleaner. No joke. Trump never said that.
No.
Trump referenced a study done in France. But then they would lie about what...
And then they said, what are all the different things that hydroxychloroquine is used in or a part of? And then they found out it was fish tank cleaner, as well as other things.
Trump said overtly. And we'd ask ourselves, how could people not just watch what Trump said? So now Alex Jones is doing it. You tell me why you think he is. I don't really care. My view on this is that there is a concerted effort, semi-coordinated, behind the scenes, a breakaway faction from Trump intentionally trying to create a new division they control. Why? Well, Alex is anti-woke, Tim Pool is anti-woke. If the new left-right paradigm is going to be dominant factions that all agree the woke culture war stuff is bad, they've isolated and destroyed it. That's what I think they're doing. I'm not going to play these games. I'm not going to do some fake debate with Alex Jones because we don't even disagree. He's just fabricating an issue, claiming we do. It's a lie. So I'll put it simply. I'm not going to play any games or do any weird, stupid, bare-knuckle boxing BS. I'm going to tell you straight up. Alex Jones can shove it up his ass. He's a bad person. I defended him for a decade. He showed up to my show the past 3 times drunk and staring down the bottle of Tito's, and we defended him. He had an alcohol-induced seizure on the show back in March. Look it up. The episode got like 2 million views because of it.
I actually watched that one.
Him. We called for help because we were concerned about his health, and we defended him. But the dude is a scumbag. He turns on a dime where the money is offered to him. I'm not debating you, bro. I don't give a shit. You can go fuck off and lose my phone number. I don't care. I didn't publish those voice memos you sent me because I won't do that without your permission because I believe in respecting the privacy the person expected at the time. But I'm completely disinterested in these grifters and these liars and these manipulators. I would sooner go live in a tiny house. I say van, but now that I have a kid, a tiny house down by the river. I don't need this world that you live in. I don't care to be a fake pundit. I'm not going to do blood sports to build audience. Not interested. The Jubilee thing, you know, this is what they do. You do the Jubilee thing, and what does the left do? They're just lying about everything. It's all clip farming these days. Why? It's called the attention economy. These people all deserve each other.
And like I said, people gave him crap for walking off. He said he was going to walk off if they were clearly just trying to farm for clips. He wasn't arguing the point or the question that was poised at the time. When you're on the Jubilee little scenario there, 20 versus 1, there are like 3 or 4 questions or talking points. And he went way off topic and then wouldn't let Tim rebut. So Tim said if that happened, he was going to walk off, and he walked off, and then he came back. And then they finished the conversation. But that's not what they would have you believe. He was going for a clip, and Tim was, I guess, silly enough to let him have it.
They deserve each and every one of themselves in a big group, screaming at each other and lying the whole time. You know, I'll be honest with you, how I feel, what's going on, the back end stuff, and it is what it is. And there you go. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you on the next.
The whole reason I put that up there was just the last bit. I mean, it's sad. They've known each other for a long time. I mean, a lot of people recall Joe Rogan being on Timcast when he was going around doing the show in a van. Them, Blair White, Joe Rogan, all of them in one little thing. And then they went on, I think, the Joe Rogan Pod or the Alex Jones Show or one of they went all on each other's shows at that particular time. They've known each other and been pretty good friends, pretty civil for a long time. All that taken apart by Tim saying one true statement on X. And him blowing a gasket. It's really sad. One more thing I just want to get to real quick. Dean Withers, hard left dipshit. This is the guy that is the new left-wing Joe Rogan. And he's a piece of shit. He basically just debates randos out of his chat and then tries his best to make them look like bad people. If someone said something, I can't even remember what it was. It was something ridiculous. And he tried to call the police on them to have his kids taken from him because he said that something, and it didn't even have anything to do with anything that's arrestable or anything to that effect. He tried to have him arrested for being a child abuser. And that's basically all he does. Well, the same thing has happened to him, and a lot of people are okay with it. And honestly, I think it's funny. I think that the same thing is happening to him is funny. It's turnabout and fair play. I don't think that it's right that it's happening, but it is funny. That being said, I don't agree with people doing things like this. This insane person is asking that he kills himself and go out in a Kirkian manner.
But tonight you look so quirky. Yes, you like. Hi, Dean. I made this song for you. I hope you enjoy. Hey there, Dean Withers. What's it like debating Trumpies? I'm 1,000 miles away, but tonight you look so quirky. Yes, you do. I hope your neck don't hurty too.
It's not even a good song. The guy can't even sing. And he certainly can't play the guitar. I see what he's going for with the Hey There, Delilah little arrangement there. It sucks. And it's horrible. The fact that anyone would tell anyone to get kirked, first of all, is just awful. And the fact that someone's doing this to Dean because he had what seems to be less than credible allegations against him is awful. Telling him to get killed or hoping someone will go out there and kill him is just terrible. I don't care that I disagree with the guy on a lot of shit. I don't care that the guy's a human piece of shit. He doesn't deserve to die for being a piece of shit, at least not to this level. He hasn't done anything illegal. He's done things that are immoral, but they're not illegal. I mean, he's just your basic media hound, like want to be rich and famous and all the things. He's just a beta dude. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's the things that are morally wrong with what he does, but again, he doesn't deserve this shit. Like, I don't know. And I know a lot of people will say, you know, Fafo or, you know, whatever. Nah. Again, you can giggle that people are saying that he should believe people the same way that, you know, he believes people when other people are accused. Which is fine. I can get down with that. But to say that it's right or whatever, or to milk this situation, especially since it seems like the allegations are probably false, at least from all accounts that I've seen so far. But death threats or wishing someone would go out there and kirk them is just awful. It's bad taste. But I mean, you imagine it from someone who carries himself in such a way here. But I don't know. But anyway, guys, I know it's kind of a downer. This has kind of been a downer show. A lot of sad shit happening, from the Karmelo Anthony situation to more on the Lindsay, what's her fucking nutcase. I will say it's funny that people say Casey Anthony walked, so Lindsay whatever can run when she's in a wheelchair and she can't run. That was pretty funny. But other than that, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Again, I will be jumping on this weekend to continue Spider-Man. I'll more than likely get on twice, since I didn't get on last night. Again, sorry about that. I was watching some really sad episodes of One Piece in the later seasons. I'm in Egghead, I think. So if anyone who's seen it, you know what I'm talking about. A little bit of flashback backstory there, but I'll get on probably twice for at least 1 hour, probably 2 2-hour sessions this weekend, and then I'm going to do a little bit of work. I'm going to work on my OBS and a couple other things this weekend as well, so hopefully we'll be able to start seeing some actual changes and see a little bit of improvement when it comes to the layout of the show at the very least. But I appreciate y'all very much for being here, and until next time, this is Alpha Animus for the Associated Guest, signing out.